All right, everyone, welcome to today's recap. I hope you all are doing well and staying blessed. If you guys are new here, my name is Jeremiah and I am a small cap stock trader. Today is unfortunately a max loss red day. The market has been heating up, so I haven't really decided what exactly my max loss will be for the hot market, but I think it's gonna be probably gonna be like 30 bucks, which is like 75 cents on 40 shares. I don't know. I think that's a decent max loss. Today I'm down $27.40. So a bigger red day, obviously, in comparison to my previous green days and red days. So we can go over my trades here, and I'm going to show you, if I fast forward just 15 minutes, we can see what the issue may have been here. So, like almost in 10 minutes, I had traded four stocks and had taken, I think, multiple trades on each of them. So I mean, this is obviously my first trade on click here, so, but still, the point is that I was over trading, and today I don't think I slept very well, or last night I didn't sleep very well. Anyways, enough of me talking. Let's take a look at the first stock I traded. I traded LOCL. This stock has a float of 3.5 million shares. It had news today about, or actually, sorry, it did not have news today. So there was no news on LOCL. But it was popping up here, and I thought I would take a stab at it for the break above this pivot. And that's usually an entry I don't like taking because it's risky, and obviously everything involves risk, but I'm getting in at the top of this green candle. Whereas if I got in on a dip and rip or a micro pullback, I'd be getting in on the dip of that candle, or if it kept going lower, I'd just probably sell. But this is risky because this can become a topping tail, and it ended up being a small loser right there for 3 bucks. So I do end up taking another trade here on LOCL, and I get in for a micro pullback. There's a few issues with this. We can see that getting in right after the candle close didn't serve well here. So it did pop up, and then it just completely sold off there. Happened once again here, again here, again here, again here. So the writing was on the wall with this setup. Micro pullback was not gonna really work. I think I looked at this one right here where it just went right away, and I was like, okay, this is gonna work. And I saw this doji candle, I was like, okay, that looks the same or similar, or this is less of a doji, more of a. Anyways, I thought that looked similar. This setup looks similar right here, so I took this, and I end up getting caught in a rejection there, and that ends up being a 7 cent a share loser or 8 cents a share loser. So not bad, not the end of the world, but not really a great trade. This stock clearly is not one that will pull away. The only real move we had was the initial pop, but other than that, it's just been sort of grinding here. Not a lot that looks good about this stock in hindsight. So the next stock I traded was XRTX. This stock has a flow of 1.37 million shares. Current daily volume is 73 million shares, and the relative volume is 38,691% times what it usually, or not times, percent of what it usually is. So about 380 times what it normally is. I get on a dip here. It's right under 3, and so I see that, and I see it start to pop back up a little bit. I jump in there, 286. Um, and I'm thinking, all right, we're holding up here. Can we get the squeeze back through 3? And we do get that. So I sell it for a nice trade there for $10.38. Nice. Not bad. But the thing about this stock is that the news catalyst was it regained compliance with NASDAQ. So that's really not a substantial headline. So getting back in was very risky, especially, well, actually, looking at the ask, it looks like not a bad trade. But as it started to reject there, I said I had to cut it because that that doesn't look good. And then I get in here, meant to get in for a micro pullback, but I don't think I was even planning on taking that trade because of this huge topping tail, and I definitely shouldn't have, to be quite honest with you guys. But I get in there, don't even get in on the dip. I get in as it's going green and sell that for break even trade. So this next trade, I also meant to get in on a dip, but it didn't really dip down as much as I would have liked, so I just FOMO'd in. Not a good trade at all, really, but this is my 5th trade in the span of what, like 10 minutes? And we're not in a market where, or at least today was not a market where I should have been taking this many trades. So that ends up being another $6 loss. Not fun. And so I do end up FOMOing back into this stock. This stock also didn't have news, which is, wow, looking back on it, I'm just starting to think, like, what was I doing? This ends up rejecting, and I'm like, brother. So that ended up being a small winner for 3 cents a share, but I mean, jeez. Look at that candle. So that could have been the indicator to just leave that alone. So I think I did, but we'll have to see. Look later into this video and out. Alright, so this next trade I take on Click. This one is a US company. It did have news, I believe. Yeah. 3-year silver economy drive targeting 500 million annual revenue. Anyways, I take a trade as it breaks above VWAP and closes above VWAP, and this one ends up being a super unfortunate. It ends up coming back above my entry. So clearly today it was not. It was I mean the writing was on the wall at this point. I could already see that it wasn't working for me. Down what? 12 bucks right now, if I do the math correctly. But anyways, so I end up taking another trade here. This one, it closed above VWAP, and I took it as it started to look like it was going to pull away. And I was seeing green on the tape as well there. Once again, a risky entry. I'm getting essentially at the top of that green candle. I had the risk of this just rejecting and becoming a shooting star and breaking back below VWAP. But this ended up being a winner, thankfully. Sold on the bid there. So I was a terrible fill, honestly, though. I sold it. Well. Alright, anyways, that was that. But I ended up going back red on this stock, unfortunately, and I believe it wasn't very long after, if I'm remembering correctly. So I got back in there, first candle to make a new high, just anticipating it. And that ends up giving back a little bit of the profit I made on that stock. And I think I jumped back in here. Did I really do that? I did. I really did. So I jumped back in there, anticipating the break over that pivot. And once again, the catalyst on this is not special in any way. It just regained compliance of NASDAQ. I mean, if anything, it's really just like, hey, we're not. And if only I'd walked away here, I was down 17 bucks. That would have been so much nicer than being down 27. But, you know, of course I overstay my welcome and make the loss even worse. So I took another trade here for the break over this pivot. Man. Once again, rejection and another loss. So I get back in here. I'm thinking, okay, it's pulling away here. I missed the micro pullback, so I just kind of FOMO in. And again, another loss. And at this point, obviously, I mean, you could just look at. I wasn't even keeping track of how many losses I had in a row, but that was already 3 that I just counted. So this would have been the time to walk away for sure. It would have been before actually, but if not before, then now for sure. But yeah, this just looks terrible. Red on all 4 stocks. So once again, I make a very foolish mistake getting in super high. Oh, man. I hate to see myself just get tricked like this. Could have taken my profit there, but I didn't. Oh, actually, that one ends up being a small winner, and I get back in. This is where, okay. So I get back in there. Looks like it's holding up. This one actually was a winner for a second. Look how quickly that happened. Was up there for a second, unrealized, immediate rejection, and I end up selling it guess 34. So terrible. That was the last trade of the day, and that was where I said, okay, that's it. I'm going back to bed. Because if I didn't, I think I just would have kept trading. So, but I think the initial issue we could have addressed at 7:15 when I had taken, I don't know how many trades, maybe 8 trades in 15 minutes. Um, traded 4 different stocks, and all of them were terrible. So clearly, decision making was not there today, and I think it had to do with my sleep a little bit, but also just getting a little too comfortable, knowing that the market has been heating up. So going into tomorrow, definitely gonna take it slow. Look for setups that are working on whatever stock I may be looking at, and just gonna try to practice my discipline, not trade every single thing I see popping up, and looking for good headlines. But with that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.